All right. The secondhand shirt's going to stink a little bit.
All right, so hey everybody, this is our first ever experimental video blog post.
No, it's our second. The first one was bad. It was not a G rating.
That was true. I ruined the first one.
Because you brought tea into it.
They're not going to understand that. But I'm bringing tea into this one too.
Oh no, PG-13 again.
So we thought of a couple of things to talk about because they're just not good enough to write about, actually. But we figured we talk about them.
Well,
more.
not interesting enough to write about.
Yeah, they're good enough.
Yeah, people are just going to be bored to tears reading about, like, oh, hey, so we ate some of this donor kebab, and it was not vegetarian, and then we ate it anyways, because, you know, you just don't eat.
You just kind of have to do whatever they say here.
Yeah, it's true. So we're in Turkey. Surprisingly, we haven't found any turkeys. There's a lot of red flags with the crescent moon on it. Oddly enough, we can't find any crescent moon flags to put up behind us. So we have Ataturk.
Say hello.
Yeah, say hello to Ataturk. There's at least 4 pictures of him in this house. Speaking of this house, we've been staying with some of Jason's friends and playing board games with them. You want to take it away?
Yeah.
Take it away.
So we're at Joe Day's house. So we're in good company. It's all Americans. We've met a few Turks so far, but we're in a little community of Americans who've migrated over to Turkey. Most of them are teachers. They're expats or immigrants is another term.
So they used to be named Pat, but then they changed their names.
As people who've been following our silly little blog know, we've been traveling at a sort of a rapid pace. 2 weeks in Portugal, to Catalonia for 2.5 weeks, and a few days in Spain. 2 weeks in Italy, right?
Yeah.
And then a year of travel in between Spain and Italy on that terrible ship. While we were in Malta, we were planning out our next couple of steps on this whirlwind tour of Southern Europe, and we discovered that we've been spending an enormous amount of money. And so if we're going to keep traveling, we actually have to earn money again. So here we are in Turkey, looking for jobs mostly, teaching jobs, writing jobs. Maybe we can get a job hosting a television show, like a really low budget comedy show.
Not after this.
No,
Not after our PG-13 rating.
This is
no one's gonna hire us.
This is our first and only television show. Right?
So for the job process here is really interesting because apparently having a CV is kind of a secondary requirement. The first requirement is actually to be kind of charismatic. So we just walked into places and we're like, hey man, we need a job. And then they asked us to tell a bunch of jokes, which we did. And then we ended up spending like spending 2 hours at a school just telling jokes to this academic administrator.
We also tested 2 students for their English comprehension. Apparently, we did it.
Yeah, but right. that was like 5 minutes of the time we spent.
Yeah, the rest of it was telling jokes.
The rest of the time is spent telling jokes. So it seems like if you have a silver tongue or even a bronze tongue in Turkey, it's going to get you a job, which is pretty uplifting.
Yeah, it is.
It's the kind of country that I want to be in for a little while.
Yeah, we had trouble finding decent work back in our own country. So if it takes immigrating to another country to find work for a change,
that's because we're unlikable dudes.
We're really not like.
And the Turkish don't know that we're unlikable.
They think that we're kind of funny, even.
Mm-hmm. They're totally wrong.
They're totally mistaken.
All the jokes I have, I read in a book.
So, on that note, in an effort to be a little bit more likable to the Turks, we've been trying to learn Turkish, which we didn't understand a word of before, 3 days ago now.
Yeah.
So we'd like to show off Turkish,
yeah.
right?
So I can count to 10, which has been really helpful. So every time someone asks, like a bunch of stuff, I just go bir, iki, üç, dört, beş, alto, yedi, sekiz, forgot 9, and on. And then from on you go on bir, on iki, and so it's like kind of like Spanish in that regard. And then we've also got merhaba, which is spelled merhaba.
It's very important. Merhaba means hello. And then another important one is ne kadar, how much, So we come in and ask a lot, hello, how much does this cost? Yes. Very important to say thank you. There's two ways to say it. There's the complicated way, teşekkür ederim, and then the simple way.
Oh, yeah. Sağ ol. Sağ ol is the simple way to say thank you. And it elicits some laughs sometimes because they go, oh, yeah, you know, sağ ol. I don't know why.
Just like in every country we've been, it appears that making even a modicum of effort to learn something of the language and not just be expected to be treated like some visiting royalty because we have American passports seems to go over well. People tend to appreciate that we recognize that we're in a whole country and not in some kind of like what's the place in Disney World? The Epcot Center.
I was going to say
Turkey Land.
Oh, okay. I was thinking you'd say Magic Mountain.
Yes, Space Mountain.
Space Mountain.
They like that we don't act like we're at Space Mountain.
Well, Space Mountain came after Magic Mountain, and that was after the Enlightenment era, right? So it used to be Magic Mountain, but then Disneyland went through the Enlightenment era.
After the Cult of Reason took over, it became Space Mountain. We're probably coming up on time here, so believe it or not, we're going to do this often, and so
sorry.
When we post a video, you'll know which days to skip reading the blog. Do you want to turn it off, or should I?
Well, I think we have to talk about what we're going to be doing here in a few minutes, right? We're going to go to a truck stop where all the best food's at.
We're going to go to a truck stop.
Yeah.
We're going to go to a truck stop and eat Georgian food at a restaurant with no name. They just call it Georgian.
Yeah, because it's all food from Georgia.
Not Atlanta, Georgia.
What other city is in Georgia? Can you think of any?
Statesboro. We're told when we go to eat Georgian food, we're going to have to give a toast to Joseph Stalin.
Oh, yeah.
Right. It's because apparently the Georgians like Stalin.
Because he was a great leader. He invented some amazing pastries.
That's right. That's right. He was a very lovable man who just adored the hell out of pastries.
Now it's got to be an R.
I think you can say hell. I think you can say hell even like in a Disney movie. I bet you if you watch Frozen, they probably say hell.
They say heck.
Do they say heck?
They say the heck out of heck.
Okay.
Well, so anyway,
so we're gonna have to toast to Stalin, but you know,
hands behind the backs.
Yeah.
All right. Well, cheerio.